Hi, I'm Katrina, your Pilates teacher at KN Pilates. Today we'll do a prenatal session, so let's begin. Just a few quick things before we start. You always want to listen to your body. Don't do anything that doesn't feel quite right, that is uncomfortable, and certainly don't do anything that is painful. If in doubt, always speak to your healthcare professional. And if something doesn't feel so good, you can always skip that particular exercise, continue with the one we've been doing, or just take a moment and rest and breathe, and that is also a very good thing to do. So let's get started. Come into a comfortable sitting position. That could be cross-legged, that could be anything else that you feel is comfortable for you, where you can have a nice tall spine. Often it is quite helpful to sit on a cushion, just to sit a bit higher up, to give a bit more space around the hips and loosen that up a bit. From here, we just start with a few mobilizing exercises, just starting with the wrists, just circling one way and the other way, and then up and down. Extend one arm, just gently draw the fingertips towards you. Same thing here, and one more, and then swap the arm over, 1 and 2 and 3. Good. And then just twirl the wrists up, breathe in. Twirl the wrists down, breathe out. And again, breathe in. And out. Good. Take the arms forwards, draw the elbows back, rotate, reach up, bring the shoulders up to the ears, and then lower down, relax the shoulders here. Breathe in and out, and in and out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as always, if in doubt, breathe. Don't worry too much about the breathing patterns. But of course, if you're familiar with this exercise, you want to breathe in and out, and in and out. Okay. So while we move the arms, we keep the body quite still. So the ribs stay in, the spine stays tall. And we just work at a comfortable range of movement. And very often we start to feel this movement quite quickly. Many of us just don't use the arms and shoulders a lot in a normal day. Yeah. So if you get tired, feel free to stop and rest at any time with any of the exercises we do today. Good. One more. Breathe in, reach the arms up. Breathe out, lower the arms down, just roll the shoulders a bit, and then shrug the shoulders up and drop them down. Breathe in and out. One more. Good. Gentle side reach, so you breathe in, reach the arm up, breathe out, reach the arm over. This very gentle sort of little stretch along the side, push the opposite hip down. Breathe in here, breathe out, return. Breathe in. And out, and in, and out. Same thing, breathe in, and out, and in, and out. One more time, breathe in, and out, and in, and out. Good, place your fingertips onto your shoulders, gentle twists, breathe in to prepare, breathe out, rotate, draw the navel in a bit, look over your shoulder. Breathe in to return, breathe out to twist to the other side. So when we're twisting the spine, you don't want to force anything. You do want to work with the range of movement that you have, but you'll notice, depending on where along you are in your pregnancy, that will change. You know, your mobility throughout the spine will change as the bump grows bigger. But you always want to draw the navel in a bit, make sure the spine stays tall. Good, last two, ideally even out right and left. Good. And release. And then just bring the hands together around the back. If your tailbone is happy, you can tilt the pelvis, lean into your shoulder blades, tuck the chin in. And then breathe and stretch the arms up, send the heart up, let the back arch, extend the arms out, and relax the arms down. And then just look from side to side, see how the neck is feeling today. The body stays quite still. Just breathe in on one movement and out on the other. Good. And then we look down and up. Just notice that nice stretch. As you look up, make sure you're not just letting the head drop back. Yeah, you want to use the muscles along the back of the neck, supporting the skull with the shoulders relaxed down. Good. Then look forwards. You want to push the chin forwards and draw the chin back. Breathe in on one movement, out on the other. Again, the body stays quite still. The rest of the spine doesn't go along with this. It's just your neck. I know this is quite an interesting one, but very healthy for your neck. Good. Now find a nice long alignment here. Good. From here, we'll come into all fours. In all fours, you want to make sure your knees are happy. Yeah, so you might need to tuck the toes under, or you might have to have a cushion under your knees. You want to have your hands under your shoulders, really nice big handprints. And just have the hands at a good distance from the knees, so you have enough space there for the spine to move into flexion and extension for our cat. And then you want to breathe out to curl in. Breathe in, send the heart forwards and upwards, shoulders away from the ears. Remember with these, as we look up, this is something you want to feel in between the shoulder blades, a nice stretch there. And then as you curl in, that's where we want to focus a bit more on the lower back. One more. And then find your neutral spine and pelvis. So you're supporting the neck, you're pushing up in between the shoulder blades. And there is that a small dip in your lower back. Yeah, from here, we just go from side to side. So you shorten the rib-hip connection on the right and on the left. The knees stay quite still. So you're not moving the whole body out of the way. You're just letting the ribs and the hips come closer together on one side, stretch out on the other. Good. Last two. Again, ideally even out right and left. Find that neutral. So in all fours, if you need to come out of this, if the wrists need a bit of a rest in between, feel free to do that at any time. We will go into our lateral arm raises, so breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, lift one arm up. Breathe in, find the same hand print, and then breathe out, lift the other arm up. While we're doing this, you want to draw the navel up a little bit and focus on that supporting shoulder. This is about keeping the shoulder blade and ribcage connected. And then taking the arm away, this challenges that strength and alignment. Make sure not to let the head drop. Yeah. Breathe out. And in. And out. The body stays quite still again. It's just the arm that's moving. Last two, again, even out right and left. And then just take the weight off the wrists for a moment. Maybe come into kneeling if that feels okay. If that's a bit too much, you can always be in high kneeling instead. And then just give the wrists a bit of a twirl for now. We will come into belly up. So this is a little bit more where we have to focus on the breath and connect that to our exercise here. So in all fours, you want to again push up in between the shoulder blades, support the neck. And then as you breathe in, gently let the belly button drop towards the floor. But the spine stays still. So you can see I'm not arching my back, I'm just keeping my spine still. And I let the belly button drop gently to the floor. As I breathe out, I draw my navel up towards my spine, again keeping the spine still. Breathe in, gently let the belly button drop. Breathe out, gently draw the navel up to the spine. Yeah. And again, you don't want to force anything, you can't squash the baby. You just want to work your core abdominal muscles, with a bit of resistance there. So think more about hugging your baby. That might be a nicer way to think about this. But it's quite important to keep those muscles strong. They will support your back and your bump. Yeah. Maybe one more of these. Good. And then step the feet together. You can keep the knees together or have them wide, whichever feels good. And just come into a relaxation position. And if this isn't comfortable for you, find a different stretch. So here you just want to let the head rest down towards the floor or rest your head onto your arms. And then breathe into your belly, breathe into your lower back. Yeah. One more breath there. Good. And then just walk the hands back. Come into sitting. Again, give the wrist a twirl. And then we come into side lying. As always, in side lying, you want to have just a small support in between your arm and your ear. If you find it uncomfortable to extend the arm out like this, you have a higher cushion, the arm in front of you, and then you have that support there. And if your bump isn't so happy here, you can have a cushion under your bump to support that here as well. You want to, as always, have one knee right on top of the other, the hips stacked, just having that idea of lifting away from the floor. And then you want to have the feet in line with your tailbone. So just guess where that might be. I'm not going to see that. You can rest the arm in front of you or on your side. Try to keep the shoulders open and stacked and looking straight ahead if possible. We'll start with our clown variations. So you breathe in to prepare, breathe out, keep the feet together, just lift the knee up, but not letting the hip roll with this. So just isolating the leg in the hip. You breathe out to lift, and in to lower. Let's do 5 of these. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. We then lift the leg up without tilting the pelvis. So just lift and lower. Find your foot and find your knee again each time. 2, 3, 4, and 5. We then put 1 and 2 together. So you lift, rotate, rotate back, lower down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we have one more variation. Lift, extend, bend, lower down again. Find that foot again. Try to lift out of the waist. Yeah, lift, extend, bend, and lower. 3, 4, Good. Take the knee forwards, extend the other leg. Again, try to keep the pelvis as neutral as possible. Flex that foot off the lower leg and gently push the foot away from you to lift the leg up. So try not to push the pelvis down and lever the leg up. That will be very uncomfortable and not very effective. So you want to push the foot away to create that lift. And if this doesn't feel good, don't force yourself to do that. Yeah. So about 8 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Extend the other leg as well. And then lift the top leg just to hip height. Keep the lower foot flexed, that will help you with balance. And then here you can either have the hand again in front of you or on your hip. You want to try to keep the pelvis quite still, and we create small circles. You just breathe in for a few and out for a few. And then go the other way around, breathe in for a few and out for a few. This is very, very small, quite low. Go the other way around, in for a few and out for a few. One more time, other way around, in for a few and out for a few. Good. Bring the knee forwards, have a rest, so feel that stretch, breathe into your belly. Good. And then use your arms to come up and over. So again, just as a reminder of our setup, the feet are in line with the tailbone, the knees are stacked. We lift out of the waist, stacking the pelvis, stacking the shoulders, and ideally looking straight ahead so the neck is nice and neutral as well. 5 of each variation. So you breathe in to prepare, breathe out to lift, and into lower. So this is sort of a rotation in the hip, the feet stay together. 3, so breathe in on one movement, out on the other. 4, and 5. We then lift and lower, the foot comes away. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We then put 1 and 2 together, lift, rotate back, there down. Be very aware not to let the pelvis move with the leg. I think that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we have 1 more, lift and extend. If you find the knee is clicking, engage the glutes a bit, and that can help. 2, 3, last few, 4, and 5. Very good. Take the knee forwards, extend the other leg away, flex that foot, have the pelvis as neutral as possible. It will not be completely neutral here. And then push that foot away to let the leg float up. Breathe out to lift and into lower. Try not to lean into the waist as you lift the leg. I think this is 3. We'll do about 8 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Extend the other leg as well. And stack the hips, flex the feet, and have the hand either in front of you or on your hip. You can have your hand on your belly button as well if that feels good. Lift the top leg into hip height, point the toes off the top leg, and then we draw small circles. Breathe in for a few, and out for a few. Let's make sure the ribs are in, the shoulders are relaxed. Go the other way around. Breathe in for a few, and out for a few. Again, in for a few, Out for a few. One more, in and out. And then take the knee forwards for a stretch. So feel a nice stretch here. Let the abdominals relax. Breathe into your belly. Very good. So next we will come into sitting. So again, use your arms to push yourself away from the floor. So we'll come into tricep dips. If your shoulders aren't so happy with this for any reason, again, skip this. You could do the lateral arm raises in all fours again that we did earlier on. Tricep dips, just strengthen the triceps, the muscles here that you use to push things. For now, we will push ourselves. Ideally, the hands are just about tiny bit wider than shoulder width, and the hands are quite far away from the hips, fingers facing forwards. And we try to keep the elbows pointing back. They will want to go out to the side, and that is just escaping the tension. But then we won't work those muscles very much. You want to point the elbows back. You're not aiming to get the elbows to the floor. You're just bending and then extending, and try to keep the chest open. So it's very common that we sort of lean into that space, so all the movement is happening in the shoulder here in the front. So that's not really what we're after. We're really trying to bend and extend the elbows. So we do about 10 of these. Breathe in on the way down, out on the way up. So let's make that 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to push all 10 fingers into the floor so the weight distributes quite evenly through the wrists. I think this is 6. It's quite tricky to count and talk. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come into sitting. Just take one arm across. Take a nice deep breath in. And out, and then swap over. You can draw the elbow close towards you and stay away from the mic. Breathe in. And out. So with that in mind, if these were quite easy, do maybe a few more. If these were very challenging, do them more often, do them every day, just to give your arms to get a bit of a head start before the baby arrives. One more set in all fours. So one of the things with pregnancy exercise that I tend to focus quite a lot on is upper body strength. So once the baby's there, you will have to do a lot of lifting and lowering and carrying and holding and pushing and pulling. We need a lot of upper body strength once the baby's here, and very often we're not really prepared for that. So take it easy. If being in all fours for so long just doesn't feel good, you can always come into relaxation position, child's pose, or find a different stretch that feels good. Yeah. So just one more in all fours, and here again, make sure your knees are happy. You have the hands just under the shoulders. So we'll just start with leg lifts here. Trying to keep the body still, draw the navel up a little bit for support and push up in between the shoulder blades. You just slide the leg back and then slide the leg underneath the hip again. Now it's going to come forward a little bit, because very often when the mat gets in the way, that can be a little bit distracting. Yeah. So when we slide the leg, you want to keep the pelvis still and just see how that feels. If that's too much pressure, if your pelvis isn't so happy with that, don't do this exercise. Yeah. But if this feels good, slide and return. Continue with these. You breathe out and in. So you try not to move too much from side to side. You bring the knee back underneath the hip, so hip width, not together in the middle. Get the last two of these. And we're just going through a few different layers of this exercise. Yeah, and you can always stick with the one that feels best for you. You then slide and lift, not higher than the hip, so don't let the back arch. Keep that spine nice and long and in neutral. Yeah. So when you bring the knee back, there's no need to hitch the hip up to place the knee back. There's the same space there if the pelvis stayed still. Yeah. Remember to draw the navel up a little bit, hug the baby up towards you. Good. From here, we do the same with the arms. I'll take this out of the way. So you breathe in to prepare, breathe out and slide. Just extending the arm forwards, nothing else is happening, so I'm not reaching. You're staying in that nice box position and just let the arm extend in the shoulder. You always want to bring the hand back under the shoulder. Sometimes the hand comes too close in or stays too far out, and then we come into a strange alignment there for our progression. And then gently lifting up, not higher than the shoulder. Remember, pushing up in between the shoulder blades, support that connection between the shoulder blades and the rib cage. One more. Remember to breathe. Yeah. Good. So either rest here or come into your swimming. So we put those two together, opposite arm to leg. First just slide along the floor without lifting up, really finding that connection to our center, keeping the body quite still. Breathe out. And in. And out. And in. Good. And then if you want to, lift up into the air. Small lift, not higher than the hip or shoulder. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out to slide. Breathe in to lift. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in, return. As you lift the leg, don't bend the knee, so stretch the leg away from you, keep that nice and long. Last one. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out to slide, breathe in to lift, breathe out to lower. And come back. Good. Just another cat stretch here, breathe in to prepare, breathe out to curl, breathe in to arch. Good, find your neutral as we did earlier, go from side to side if that feels good. And try to look at your tail. Good. And then rest back in the child's pose if you want to, your relaxation position. Maybe stay there for a little bit, enjoy that relaxation there. And just breathe deeply into your back and into your belly. One more breath. Walk the hands back. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And we're done. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.